Hello, welcome back once again to the Retrocade podcast, the quarantine edition, part 35.
Yeah,
It's really episode 45, I believe.
Phil, Sean here.
Phil and Sean, and we're here. We're back in the studio.
We're back.
We're back.
It's in delays as delays.
Oh man, we've
here.
been so quarantined. They shut our power off, and now we're back.
I did lose power for that big storm.
Oh yeah, there was a hurricane. Was it a hurricane?
It was like the aftermath of hurricane.
The aftermath of hurricane. It was just a lot of wind
I had
here
power
in New
for
York.
about 5-6 days.
At your house, there was no power for 5-6
Zero.
days. Jeez, that was how long Sandy was no power here.
I was like 2-3 weeks with Sandy.
Really?
So,
well,
yeah,
you're in a mountain there. I don't know if that
It's
affects
just
it.
so many trees.
A lot of trees, a lot of down power lines out there.
Yeah, it was rough.
How are you doing otherwise? Have you been murdered on the streets or living in New York? Are you running for the hills?
I've been in Long Island a couple times.
Oh, yeah, you're relegating to Long Island
I've
with
had some nice weekends.
the rest
Greenport.
the rest of the East Hampton elites.
Oh yeah, anyone with Brooklyn with money, like.
We're getting out of here. Fuck New York. We're going to the Hamptons
Take
where
that
it's
little
safe.
Amtrak, yeah.
It's not even bad in Manhattan, but whatever.
It's not. I had dinner there for the first time.
I was there a couple weeks ago where I was on Upper West Side.
3 weeks ago.
And everybody's like, Upper West Side is a filth hole. I'm like, I was just there.
walking
It looked
around.
fine.
The restaurant was all outdoor night.
I didn't eat out.
It was packed.
But I got coffee with
packed
the baby and
along its lines. There was some guy singing like Frank Sinatra songs in the Italian restaurant.
sure.
We had a great dinner. The only annoying thing
Did you see any homeless defecating?
No, I did see like a tranny guy jogging,
But that's
which was
normal.
unsettling to my meal.
Cancel him.
No. I mean, there was a couple street people here and there, but
Yeah, but is that any different than the New York that we know and love?
it wasn't exaggerated like you hear on the.
Definitely, it's so much exaggerated. I feel like the people that rag on it, I see a lot of that. New York is burning. It's like, you're not. You live in fucking Ohio. You haven't been here or wherever. I stand out. People do that
that
all the
say
time.
it's burning are watching the news.
They're watching the news and
they're
exaggerating.
just.
Meanwhile,
They
like,
didn't go to the city
Manhattan's-
anyway.
No,
They
didn't never went anyway. I'm leaving. It's like, you were never there.
Like,
Who
when was the
cares?
last time you were in the city?
Wow,
2004?
yeah, I went to see the tree. Like 2007.
Oh, Manhattan sucks. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, you live in the middle of Marlboro, New Jersey.
Yeah,
and
yeah. There's a lot of New
the city
Jerseyers doing
sucks.
that. Yeah, no, it's
Listen,
looking
it's
fine.
not. It has its problems.
Yeah. Well, obviously, with not to go too far into the dramas of New York City. It's so funny, though, because we, for years, were like, yo, we love 1970s gritty New York, where there was murder and Bernie Getz. That was in the 80s, but, you know, the graffiti.
It's still from that time frame.
But would you say, are we relegating back to that? Are we devolving to the 1970s New York?
Listen, if you do it right,
If we do it right, we could get it. And then the rents will
You're
be cheap
gonna
again.
bring unique businesses. See, bring back the mom and pop
pops.
New York.
You mean we can't have a Dunkin' and Starbucks in every single corner?
No, why can't we
Sponsored
go to
by Dunkin'.
Spiro's Coffee Shop?
Runs on
you know?
Dunkin', yeah.
Like you were watching. What was that show on HBO?
Which one?
It's where like the hookers and porn.
The one that was about music?
No, it was a show with James Franco, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I can look it up.
Was
here.
that not the one that with the music? What was the one with the record label that was in 1970s New York? That was produced by Martin Scorsese. That was like, it was probably like only 6 episodes because once it played, then it was the end of it. Let me see.
I'm gonna look this
Let's waste
up.
time. Let's have some dead air and look it up.
Dead Air? Yeah, Dead Air Research.
Yeah, Dead Air Research. That should be the name of our podcast.
Yeah, right.
1970s record label show.
The
is
Deuce.
The
Deuce? The Deuce.
Oh, I was thinking about the show Vinyl.
So 2017.
The Deuce. Let me see.
Had
it.
3 seasons.
Wow. I don't even-
93% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that ain't
so
bad.
Pretty solid. Yeah, so it's 70s New
Oh,
York.
yeah. You know what?
And it had like hookers and
I think I
porn.
thought this was Vinyl when it was on. Do you not remember the show Vinyl? Not to go
I
back
remember
to that.
the name, but I
It was
didn't see
one
it.
season, short-lived, 74%, and it was about like record labels in New York in the 70s. But like that aesthetic,
But
of
it was
course.
just aesthetic the same.
Yeah, you know, smoking and like
Yeah,
smoking
just
indoors and like
criminals,
yeah,
like
yeah,
elements,
criminals, skelly,
seediness.
slimy, seedy graffiti and
But-
like shag rug, you know.
I probably went to the city more as a kid than you did because my
Not
mother.
necessarily. Well, maybe you did because your mom worked in the city, Manhattan.
So like a lot of events.
But I was there a lot.
But-
you know. But maybe you were there constantly because she worked there. I don't know.
But I do remember a little bit of an underbelly. We caught the end of it. This is when the Giuliani came in with like a hose. And
He
washed it
literally
away.
hosed down the homeless and the whores of 42nd Street. And I don't know. He put them
It's
in.
like there's a fountain of like prosperity, and then like De Blasio gets a wrench and turns it off.
Well, yeah. De Blasio was like, "We're gonna bring. De Blasio is giving you your wish. You wanted it. I want the gritty hell of New York, not this Disneyland."
Well, let all the criminals from jail.
Yeah, he released everyone
B,
from
don't
Rikers
arrest,
Island.
don't arrest anyone.
Oh, so this is? Are you saying that this is the Bill De Blasio?
This is fun.
This is
And
the Bill De
C,
Blasio
like-
gameplay.
Give my wife like $5 million to have assistance.
$850 million to do Thrive NYC. No, now we're getting too political, but
Yes,
it's
let's-
all very good. It's all very
Let's get
good.
to the jargon.
Let's
here.
get to the meat and
So,
potatoes of why
As
we're
we were saying,
here.
this is I guess the end of summer recap.
Would you say that this is the Dog Days episode?
This was
Coming out in
the
September now.
Dog Day Summer. We
Oh man, talk about Dog Day Summer. Did anyone do anything? Did anyone do anything this summer?
again. I was supposed to go to Ireland. Canceled. Montreal trip canceled.
Canceled.
New Orleans canceled.
Canceled.
Vegas canceled.
These were all in what 1 month you were gonna do all these trips?
throughout
Traveling the
COVID,
world, fighting
but
around the world. Canceled.
This summer I was supposed to go to Vegas and Ireland.
Okay.
Both pretty exciting trips. Both canceled.
You got all your shekels back for those trips? Or
I
did
got Ireland shekels, which was the important one.
That's
that was about
important 'cause
$900.
Okay.
Vegas, I have like a $300 credit
Oh, that you can go to
that I
Vegas
can use
anytime
in
you
the
want.
next 2 years.
Oh, good. Well, you better get there soon. There might
But
not be much of
there's
the
no
Vegas left to
motivation to
defend.
go to Vegas. So like
There's no motivation to go anywhere, really.
my friends,
Because that's the thing. It's like I know single people, or just people like, yo, look, it's $18 to go to Orlando round trip. That's literally what it was. We looked it up, and I was like, yo, $18 to go next week, and it was direct round trip. Spirit Airlines, sponsor of the show.
Please
but-
not. Spirit Airlines.
Well,
fucking
it's
sucks.
garbage, yeah. But for $18, how could you go wrong? It was a direct flight from your favorite
When
place,
you're
LaGuardia.
You're sitting in the
You're-
cargo hold.
You're in the cargo hold. Yeah, you're on top of the. You have to
I'm
watch
cold.
the luggage. Shut up down there.
Sorry, blankets are $65.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shut up, down.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like a
Hit you
broom.
with the broom. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you can't beat that price. Though.
And they're saying though, right? Like I was watching something or other recently, and I guess it was sponsored by Universal, because there's
Yes.
just fucking Universal commercial after Universal commercial. Like now we're open.
Yeah. They want
And
you
then
back.
like
Yeah.
there's like a disclaimer about reservation
We're
was
not-
made 6 months in advance.
It's a bit of
We
a mess.
can't
We're-
guarantee any rides are open.
You're all of us liable. You're not liable if you get COVID disease or die. Yeah, it's just completely not liable. Yeah.
So like you know to get to Disney right now is very difficult to get like a pass. Half the shit's closed.
Yeah, there's a lot of things
You're
closed.
not getting the
They
full-
just closed permanently. They're closing and this is an egregious thing. They're closing Splash Mountain, or they're retheming it because Song of the South is racist because it's based on the movie Song of the South, which is
I'm not familiar with this movie.
well, yeah, it's like a 19
It's animated or
It is kind of like Roger Rabbit animated with live action characters.
is there bears?
No, that is the Country Bear Jamboree.
Okay, I'm getting them mixed
This
up.
is Song of the South with Brer Rabbit.
Do you
and
think the Country Bears are Confederate supporters?
I think every one of them is but that's why they're getting rid of Song of the South with the song Zippity Doo Dah Zippity Yay. You ever hear that song?
It's a famous song.
Where's that from? It's from Song of the South, and it's essentially
Zippity Doo Dah is now canceled.
Zippity Doo Dah is canceled, which is unfortunate because that song
It's
plays
a catchy song.
very catchy. It's
in
honestly
your head.
it's one of their best, and now that will no longer be played because it's racist and because it's insensitive to the South. So don't you dare speak, because you will get banned if you're humming that song in Disney. They will remove you from the premises, and they'll.
Is that why they have more stormtroopers now?
That's right. The stormtroopers will move you to the underground utilidors that they have, which is true, by the way.
Like you
And
go all the way to Spirit Airlines in their corridor.
I spent $18 to just fly
from one
here.
corridor to another.
One corridor from under the hatch of the ship to the utilidors of Disney, where Bob Iger himself.
This is the
will
thing, right? You're
stab you.
getting these free discounts, essentially. These free flights.
Yeah, you can't
But
beat that
for,
as prices.
For what?
Well, that's the problem, because in the beginning I was like, yo, $35 to LA, let's go. And I'm like, you know what? At that point it was the peak and everything's closed anyway. I was like, well, there's no restaurants. You can't even go on the beach.
But
They were
even-
saying no people on the beach. And it was like, all right, what do you do anyway? You just walk around the streets, like look at the palm trees. I was like, it's 100 degrees in New York anyway.
Even with the regulated stuff. So
yeah.
was at my friend's birthday.
There's no malls here still in New York City. Finally they're opening the gyms next week. I'm very excited. Even though I made a makeshift gym here and there. Yeah, I just walk it with my coffee for miles, crying.
See, I'm not a coffee drink. I have the acid reflux, hurts my stomach, can't drink.
But yet you're a lot of these drinks seem a little acidic for you, nonetheless. Nah, they're not as acidic as a good old-fashioned coffee.
It's a smoother taste.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so
smooth and bold.
I'm saying about these regulations, right?
A lot of regulations.
So my friend's girlfriend went with her girlfriends to Atlantic City last weekend.
Oh, my in-laws were just in Atlantic City,
and they said it was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I gotta ask how they felt, my in-laws, because they just came back.
So we went there for your bachelor party.
Gotta wear your mask. You can't. You know nothing at the table. Like, what do you do? You know.
Your bachelor party was about 12 months ago in Atlantic City, give or take.
It was probably more like 18 to almost 2 years ago. But yeah, sure.
It's 2 years ago. No,
it was February of 2000. It
was February.
It was before I got married.
Nah, it wasn't that cold, was it? I don't remember wearing a jacket.
It was freezing, Sean. Sean must have been wrecked. I don't remember wearing a jacket. Give me some more of these White Claws and vodka Gimleys.
No, that's the COVID, man. Your mush is your memory is just, it was that long ago.
Well, yeah, it was February. Or
you got married in May. That's right.
I got married in March of 2019.
It was March? That was May.
May 23rd is my anniversary.
Calendar dates
March 23rd is my anniversary.
Are off.
Yeah. Sean's.
The
months are all a blur due to COVID.
Either way, when we went, you had activity after activity to do.
Yeah, well, that was normal AC time, and that's and remember, that's kind of AC on the downturn, because remember, Atlantic City, I don't know if everyone knows, not to get off track here, another one of our tangents, but AC is pretty kind of not what it was before COVID. It was like having a lot of trouble, online gambling killing it, people not wanting to spend money on these hotels. That's another thing, all the Airbnb killing the hotels and shit, because now there's competition.
Airbnb's fucked royally in too.
Oh yeah, they're another one dealing with the
or like WeWork, the guy's going to jail for fraud and knows millions of dollars to everyone.
Oh, what one of the
WeWork, which is like they give you essentially they give you office space if you're let's say you have your distribution company, right?
Yeah.
But you need to do a meeting to impress a client or what have you.
Sure.
You rent the office space out, or you lease it. It's like temporary renting, leasing of office space.
Sure.
Who the fuck's renting and leasing office space right now? And this guy took egregious loans, and
Oh, so he was he was a little
playing his car
overextended, a little high leverage.
Absolutely. So anyway, they're at an AC. They said it sucks. You can't walk around the casino. You can't go anywhere. You
can't walk around the casino.
You can't drink.
Oh yeah, you have to wear your mask, I guess.
And when you're gambling, it's okay.
Yeah, there's all we have to spray you down, sir. Yeah, you can't even touch the dice or something at the craps table. We have to spray down the dice now.
Playing craps is 3 people on the table.
Yeah, which is a game that you need the whole table. Yeah, it's a
communal game.
It's a communal game, group game.
You're playing roulette by
Communist
yourself.
game.
You're playing roulette by yourself.
Well, I wouldn't mind that because
it's Snoozerama.
Because I guess it's Snoozerama, but honestly, I wouldn't mind that because when there's a lot of people to roulette table, I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I want to place my chips, please. When I'm gambling,
if
like
you're
a derelict.
Say if you're degenerate and you want to sit at a slot machine for 27 hours, all right, go to AC. But the steakhouse experiences, the clubs, the nightlife, it's all gone.
Yeah.
You can go on the boardwalk and have
a
dinner.
You see,
drink.
that was the thing with me.
That boardwalk's kind of lousy to begin with.
It is. That's why I never went to AC in the summertime, because it was I'm an AC, I get enticed to go inside. And the boardwalk, it's better. The AC was always better in the winter for me because you want to be indoors. You do in the spring too, but I never went on the beach in Atlantic City.
Oh, I've never went in the water. Never.
No,
I've never actually went on the sand, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. I have been on the sand, but never if I wanted to go to the beach in Jersey, I'll go to any of the other closer ones to us.
It's billion. For sure.
Fuck AC. But yeah, very unfortunate that COVID's happening, everyone. I'm sure that's what everyone's here for. They're here to hear talk about for 15 minutes about COVID.
They've been there, done that. We want to move on to greener pastures here.
Much greener pastures.
We want to look at towards the future and bright spots. So for a bright spot, a movie I'm very excited for. I think everyone is.
Everyone.
And this is not going to be a VOD release, which
no, all these other
things are coming out.
Oh, everything's VOD. Well, there's no. Is there any theaters in America open?
I believe so.
Not in America. Not in
our vicinity.
Yeah.
No.
I know malls are open in New Jersey. That's not the case in New York City.
Well, I went to Macy's recently.
The wings are wing places, but not mall itself. But yeah, you go into Macy's, you can go into
How did you have? I remember maybe a month or two ago, you posted some pictures of the mall.
Yeah, the Staten Island Mall. I did that from JCPenney. because I went in JCPenney and you could see them more.
Oh, so you just kind of
Yeah.
took pictures from.
Yeah, from the closed doors.
All right.
Yeah.
How
I wasn't.
did you get access?
I know, right? That's what everybody thought. I had
Janitor keys or something?
Yeah, I got the. No, you could just see right in because it's just big glass windows, and I just took a picture from there.
So I was in there. It was a nice shopping again, but like I have a security guard. Sir, put your mask on or
Oh,
leave.
yeah.
Like,
I go in because I'll get after I work. I drink my coffee and I'll be like, I'm bored. I'll go. It's cloudy. I'll go into like JCPenney or Macy's or the Container Store and see all the things I don't give a fuck about buying just because I'm bored.
hey, Tommy's, Miller's, crowded.
That's true. Oh yeah, I ate at Miller's Ale House. I ate at Miller's Ale House.
Food's suitable.
Yeah, it's like Applebee's if Applebee's was better, I guess. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a little better. It's better than Applebee's.
Yes.
That's what Miller's tagline is. Miller's Ale House.
We're better
than Applebee's. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Places like Applebee's are fucked. We don't have any like Fridays closed where we were at. Red Robin closed where we're at. What's next? Chili's and Applebee's. They can't live forever. Like
That Chili's has been hanging in there for a long time.
I know it's fighting. It's boo boo.
I'm trying to
Where
think.
you want to go? It's just standing and it's like
I'm trying
beat
to
up.
think like when is the last time I physically had dinner in there?
Oh, it's
And
got to be for me. Maybe 3,
I was in high
4
school.
years. That long ago? You took with the one on Richmond Avenue?
I was in high school.
Wow. No, I probably was in there more recently than that, but not much more. About like 5 years, maybe 4 years. I don't know.
It's okay.
But my
Like you said, it's something that's adequate.
adequate.
Well, so what I'm getting at too is the Batman. This is
Yes.
the
Batman. So I haven't seen the trailer. Why don't I watch the trailer right here?
Watch it while I
and I'll
talk
put it.
about it.
Yeah,
okay?
you can talk about it. We'll put it up,
give it a
and
quick
I'll even
glance.
I'll even put it up on the screen so people can watch it with us together.
So
And
let's
hopefully
do
we don't
that.
get copyrighted. Or I'll watch it. I'll watch it here on my.
I'll watch
on my,
it with you. So
on my screen.
We could kind of like talk
We'll
about
coordinate it. Yeah, because
So-
I have not even seen it yet. I've
this
been
is,
waiting to watch it here now.
This was about last week.
Oh, this is good stuff.
This came out about last week, within the last 10 days or so. It's hot. It's exciting. It made me kind of enjoy
20
Batman.
million. 20 million.
That's
views.
probably just your link. There's probably ones that
Yeah,
have
there's probably
even
other
more.
ones. Yeah. Ooh. Look at this.
The sad thing is,
duct
I
tape
go
face.
onto YouTube. It's crazy TikTok transformations. It's just garbage.
Oh, they're using Nirvana music. On the
Pancake Art Challenge and Funny Cats and Baby Cats. This is recommended for you. So I'm seeing you're seeing.
Sounds horrid.
It sounds like your wife and or baby were using it.
Yeah,
too.
they're probably using my account.
This
to
well, this
watch
is my recommended.
Blue's Clues.
This sounds like the wheelhouse. Half baby, half.
Okay. So this looks good so far.
So you're watching it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm watching it.
So the big talk was, oh man, Ron Pattinson, isn't he this like lame ass
That never
vampire?
bothered me though.
I honestly like Robin Pattinson. I think he's a good actor.
He's come a long way from.
They said he had to jack up for the role because he was kind of lean.
Sure, you got to jack up for the role.
But he's way more darker and more interesting than Ben Affleck.
Definitely.
Ben Affleck
Definitely.
to me is just like this
Bro.
dull, like I'm this like alpha jock.
Yeah, he's
you
a
know?
little jockish for sure.
But
You kind of get that from him from Dazed and Confused. You know, he was a jock in that movie.
It's funny, him and Matthew McConaughey were like nobody's in that.
I know
back then.
that movie made them. Yeah, I love Dazed and Confused. Richard Linklater.
But you look at the trailer.
He's
Now
vengeance. Now, was Batman supposed to be
So-
vengeance?
he is. His parents are murdered.
Yeah, I guess that's his vengeance.
So it looks like there's some changes here. I think it looks like Commissioner Gordon, well, Lieutenant Gordon, then he becomes Commissioner. He
Yeah,
appears to be
I like
black.
that actor that they use for him.
He appears to be black now. I don't know who he is.
You don't know that actor? Hold on, he
No.
was in Casino Royale. He's been in a lot of stuff. I forget his name. Let's find out his name because he's a good actor and he looks actually really
He
good.
does actually look like a good Gordon.
He looks like a very good.
He has
the glasses is perfect.
glasses, mustache is the.
You need the glasses. Jeffrey Wright. He's
Okay. So what was his biggest movie then?
well, I know him from Casino Royale. I know he's in a lot of stuff.
So he was in some Bond stuff.
Yes, he was in Casino Royale 2006.
So that's
He was
Zoe
in-
Kravitz, if you didn't notice, is Catwoman.
Oh, is it?
And then the biggest name is Colin Farrell is Penguin, but he's wearing a bunch of makeup.
Right.
Penguin's a gross dude.
Are you watching it?
I'm watching it.
Okay.
I don't know how to take the volume off.
Turn the volume down, Sean. You're screwing us up here. I'm vengeance.
But these are the good Batman scenes with just the quick hands, you know.
Yes.
He's not Superman where he's punching you into oblivion. He's just chopping you up real quick.
Whooping your ass because he's...
So what do you think of the Batmobile? There's always a new...
I like it. It looks
There's
good.
always... It evolves, the Batmobile.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, what are you going to do? The 89 one, which is still kind of my favorite one.
The 89 one is sleek looking.
Oh,
look at the Adam West one. That was the first real one.
It's got the... Oh, you know where I passed yesterday when I was in Jersey? Not to trail off, but Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank. Yeah.
Did you stop in?
No, because the whole block was blocked off and it was crowded as fuck. I don't know how they let that many people out there.
I've been there once.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Sure.
They had Comic Book Men.
Yeah.
I think they did 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, that's done, right? Yeah. I was watching that show actively for a bit.
I liked it because it appeals to us in a way
it's kind of like Pawn Stars for nerds, you know?
So we like to collect vintage toys.
Oh, we certainly do.
And they would always have at least one segment where someone comes in with vintage toys and they get ripped off. So it's like...
yeah, that guy was always
he's
scheming
like,
them.
oh, it's worth
nothing.
$800.
Yeah.
We'll give you
80,000.
$70.
Yeah. Sold.
Can I get 90? All right, 85.
Yeah, that's the highest I'll go. But reason bringing, they had Adam West on that show once, and the either original Batman or a replica of it. You know, before Adam West died. You know,
he passed away the last 2 years. I want to say.
Yeah, maybe 3-4 years. Time
Wasn't
flies.
he big like Family Guy character?
Yeah, he was
he played himself.
He played himself. Yeah, because he was the mayor, right? He was the mayor, and he played himself as the mayor.
No, that was Michael Woods. Was it James Woods?
No, it was not. James Woods was on the show, but the
as
mayor
himself too.
As himself, but he wasn't the mayor. He was just like kind of like Peter's adversary a lot.
I remember Adam West being
was
himself
more,
on Family
Adam West,
Guy.
Yeah, but he played the mayor as Adam West. Adam West was the mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of Portlandia. The guy, I don't know his name, from...
You did 3 years ago, 2017, Adam West passed away. Speaking of passings, we should probably mention Chadwick Boseman's passing, which is a crazy thing.
I was unexpected.
Shockingly unexpected.
Black Panther was a good movie. Black
Panther was great. I mean, he was in a lot of other things, too. He was in Robinson, 42. He played Jackie Robinson.
So he was 41 years old? Is that
43.
correct? 43. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's sad.
He had a lot of potential, you know, and he was a
sad?
very solid actor. And you know, I'm assuming there was going to be more Black Panther movies, right?
Absolutely. But what was sad about it was he showed up on YouTube or he did some post about whatever, and everyone's like calling him a crackhead.
Yeah, he looks so skinny.
He looks like he's doing drugs, and he's fighting cancer, but he want to do it privately.
So fucked up.
So look at this guy. You're making a public appearance to talk about something that's important to you, and you read the comments. Everyone thinks you're a crackhead, when in reality you're dying of cancer.
Probably hurt bad.
And the same people that are like, oh, look at this fucking junk box, are on Facebook going, oh, rest in peace.
Yeah, I know,
right? What a tragedy.
Yeah, what a tragedy. It's like, well, maybe you should
have... How quick the tide fucking turns.
Yeah, it's very, very sad, untimely.
That reminded Michael Jackson. Everyone's like, what a child molester freak. Then he dies, they're like, oh,
the whole world,
what a legend.
Hands around the world for MJ.
It's like, no one gives a fuck about you until you're gone. That's...
Tee-hee.
You know, that's kind of the... You look online, it's just... toxic spewing kind of.
You're a big fan of MJ and his
and
the clock at Neverland.
People take
the big
their sides.
What time is bedtime, Sean? At Neverland.
Now you're making assumptions.
Well, there's a lot of bona fide evidence.
Well, if the FBI clears you when you watch an HBO documentary,
when
the credibility of HBO over the FBI.
Take this $20 million.
Like I said, I guess the HBO has more credibility than FBI. We'll go into this another day.
We should have a whole
Phil
episode dedicated to. I'm gonna have a whiteboard of the facts.
Phil gets his facts from HBO. All right.
So the Batmobile I like. It's a little throwback. It kind of looks like a Challenger, you know, but a custom.
It's a mix, though. It does have a Nolan look to it a little bit.
Yeah, well, the flat black kind of dark, you know,
sleek kind of.
Yeah, and it's got like all these like power lights and stuff. And...
It has more function than fashion, if you will.
Yes.
Some are like the Tim Burton one there's no function. It just looks sick, but like you probably can't even open the door. You have to go.
Yeah, well, it's so long. How do you make turns on that thing? I think in one of the scenes it had to like use a grappling hook to make a turn. You know, it was so wide. It was such a long piece of equipment.
They actually said that one of the Saudi princes bought one of the Burton Batmobiles. There was only a couple laying around.
Who bought it?
One of the
Saudi princes. Oh,
So
he
Saudi
bought one-
Prince watched. He
one-
was a big Batman
Oh,
fan.
I must buy.
So they were like, "How much? 35 million.
That's nothing.
That's peanuts."
Yeah, he's
And
got
he
so
bought
much
it.
oil.
Imagine driving around the Saudi desert in the Batmobile.
Would that be the weirdest thing you'd
do you
see,
think
like in Dubai?
But you think they have an AC in that unit? I don't know if they.
Oh, he's gonna have to custom put an air compressor in there.
How
because-
much? 100,000 air conditioning.
Yeah, no problem. I put 3. Yeah.
So it's a cooler villain setup. I think you got Penguin, Catwoman. The Riddler's the main villain.
Somebody made a meme the other day because now who isn't it? Colin Farrell playing the Penguin.
Correct.
So, but he looks just like was it Richard Karn or Richard Kind?
Richard Karn was
Not Richard.
Al Borland.
Not Al Borland. Look up.
Tool time.
Look up Richard Kind, and with all the facial prosthetic they put on Colin Farrell, he just looks like Richard Kind. They should have just got Richard Kind.
Who is Richard Kind?
Comedian, actor, character actor. He's in a lot of.
Let me take
He
a
does a
look
lot of
here.
voice stuff. He was in the show. He does a lot of voice stuff for Disney. He's very much an ABC actor. You got to know his face.
You can't be. That's not a good look if you look like the Penguin.
But
normally.
he just looks like the Penguin. He looks like Colin Farrell with all this prosthetic. You might as well just got Richard Kind.
Richard Kind. Oh, this guy. Yeah,
That
yeah,
guy. He
yeah.
looks like. That's what I'm
I
saying. You
remember
should have
he-
just got this guy.
I know him mostly from lately. He's in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's Larry David's
That's
cousin.
right. That's right. He's in Curb Your
He
Enthusiasm.
plays Larry David's cousin.
And he does a lot of voices. He's in the show.
Yeah.
A Bug's Life, Inside Out. Not to say A Bug's Life.
He's
was
been around
recently.
forever.
He's been around since the
Spin
early 90s.
City was a
Spin
big
City
show
was on
for
the show.
him.
Spin City. He's a voice in Toy Story. He's he does all the voices in all these cars and.
No, yeah.
Inside Out.
Once I saw his picture, I'm like, oh, Richard Kind.
Yeah. Richard Karn. He's in a lot of stuff. He was
He
Argo,
could look like
Stargate.
the Penguin. He does. He has like the facial features of the Penguin.
Look
Big
at
mouth.
this main picture of him in this tuxedo. He looks like the Penguin.
And he has the kind of pointy nose.
He's the Penguin. Just hire Richard Kind. That's who I would have hired. I was like, no. We don't need Colin Farrell for this
They
one.
want a bigger name, I guess.
They need a bigger name. But it's like Richard Kind's been around.
You
We
know
don't
what,
need
though?
Colin
If you
Farrell.
saw Colin Farrell in
It'd be cheaper to hire
True
Richard Kind.
Detective season 2. He's best thing on the show.
Oh,
the
my
rest
cousin
of the show
really, I never
fucking
got
sucks.
to do True Detective. My
Season
cousin
1 is
Gold.
groundbreaking.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. My
There's
cousin
just-
loved it. I never got a chance to.
You have
I do too much
Woody-
staring into a wall that
Woody-
I never got to go.
Woody
back to.
Harrelson and McConaughey.
How many episodes is
So-
there? It's 8
It's
episodes.
usually between 8 and 10. I want to say 8.
It's only the 2 seasons, already.
3.
It's 3.
So 3 had 3 was I like 3 a lot. It redeemed itself from 2.
There's so much content. It's tough to keep up with all the content.
But I think HBO has good stuff.
They do.
Generally speaking, that is.
Yeah.
Not everything, but generally speaking,
part, for
HBO
sure.
has quality content.
Yeah. Except for the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones.
Well,
That's
that's what
that final season to get
that
that
was what I
most
was-
of it.
That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
Game of
naturally.
Thrones.
Now they really butchered that. They really,
So-
they really fucking went down for that blunder.
One of the breweries I work with at work is Omegang Brewery. They're
Oh, I love
located in
Omegang.
Cooperstown, New York.
Mm-hmm.
They had this huge commercial tie-in with Game of Thrones.
Yes, they had
So-
the Game of Thrones
Beers.
lagers, ales, whatever.
All different beers, but typically stronger beers.
Yeah, little dark. They're
And-
dark lagers.
In Game of
yeah.
Thrones, people would drink stronger beers. They're not drinking Michelob Ultras.
No, these neckbeards they need a lot to get them hosed.
neckbeards, exactly.
Yeah, these neckbeards need to get hosed.
So, about season 3 or 4, they started selling the beers, and I'm looking at the numbers, and I can't sell this beer fast enough. Everyone fucking wants it. It's cranking. Season 7 comes.
Cue the slide whistle.
like,
Wow.
we're sitting on hundreds of cases. No one
You got-
wants the fucking.
We got pallets.
kegs.
We got a whole warehouse full of this shit.
A bottle orders is like, oh wait, I don't want this. I'm sending it back.
Yeah. Send it back.
We had a
Because who's at
we
that
had to
point?
dump so much. After season 7, they came out with one more batch, like the end or the.
Yeah, this is the.
No one wanted it. They're like, this is the end of this beer. and they
It
threw
literally
out.
left a sour taste in people's mouths.
Correct. It was
How
a
do you like that?
disaster. But
Yeah.
I just found it funny that people hated the show so much.
That they stopped.
That
It
the-
wasn't
no-
trendy anymore at that point. People were soured with it, so to speak.
I'm still sorry. I have never rewatched one episode.
They
I don't
really shat the bed on that one. And they were going to do the Star Wars show, weren't they? Benioff and Weiss. They were getting so ahead of themselves. They're like, oh, look at this. We're going to be fucking Hollywood's friggin' sweethearts. Forget about this Game of Thrones shit. Just make it up as we go. Make her burn the whole place down. And
Now they're
They
like
burnt it down,
producers at the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
She's like, get my coffee.
Speaking of it, let's bring her up. Oh, I love how she's getting canceled. She screwed her whole staff practically. And
Nightmare.
I love how. I mean, this is kind of old news now. It's a couple months old, but
Well, it's still
relevant.
topical.
It's still
in this
topical,
summer.
right? It's this summer that because they've had to obviously do they're all doing them from home. All these people they've had to quarantine from their 17-acre mansions in Beverly Hills. You know, I'm so sorry for Ellen. Let's all cry from Meanwhile, we're in this little cage of a studio.
I
It's
know,
about
it's
to fall
like
apart.
bats flying around.
Bat leakings from the ceiling. Yes, acid and oils coming down. The whole thing's about
Sponsored by Spirit Airlines.
Spirit Airlines. Get you $18 tickets now. Yeah, you'll get acid in the cargo hold.
Sir, do you have some water that's $18.50?
Put Sean in the cargo hold. Yeah, $18.50 for the little 4-ounce thing of water.
It's kind of cold one. Cold.
Blanket's $75, sir.
I'm cold.
Oh,
My teeth hurts.
Broomer fast. Yeah, that's a different illusion. But long story short, Ellen DeGeneres, she plays Hollywood sweetheart, and meanwhile she's like, there's stories of her coming out how
you can't
evil
look
she
her
is.
in the eyes.
You can't look her. You can't make eye contact with her. She has a sensitive nose, so if you smell in any way, she'll make you go home and take a shower or stay home. Beyond that, you cannot eat like odd lunches. Now, I could kind of almost get behind that.
But like,
you ever had like in the office and somebody like, would you like, I'm microwaving my tuna babkalak and it's like, oh, it stinks up the whole place. I get that, but like,
you don't eat tuna fish, canned tuna at work.
And you're heating them, no, like you're heating them up so they stink up.
Or like, it's equivalent like microwaving White Castles.
Right. But that's not as unpalatable as that is.
White Castles have a pungent aroma to them.
For sure. Well, especially how they come out. They come out the same way they come in. But
ooh, a little slime.
Oh dear. But she apparently you can't make eye contact with her. So even like a bodyguard of hers was like, yeah, you couldn't even look at her or whatever. She pretended like I didn't exist.
Well, she just treated everyone like shit.
Yeah, she treated them like they were like subhuman.
She was supposed to be this like hero of the LGBT
I'm so
community.
nice, LGBT popular Hollywood sweetheart.
I love the kids and
the
everyone.
kids.
But in reality, you only love yourself.
What about when she was so grimy to trick Mariah Carey into like having a drink? She tried to get her to say that she was pregnant on the show, like on live television, and she brought out champagne, and Mariah was like, nah, because she was pregnant.
She don't want to say it on air because Ellen will get the cred for it.
Also, turns out that she ended up having a fucking miscarriage. So, like, it only makes Ellen look even more fucking scumbaggish. And apparently, so she puts out this thing on Twitter. Oh, I support my whole studio team. All my,
we're gonna make changes.
Yeah, but even before that, she said that. Like,
you're changing. You're gonna fire everyone that ratted on you.
Well, the jig was up at that point, but beforehand, she was like, "Oh, this COVID is so hard on my staff." But it turns out that she hired a different cheaper staff to set up the studio at her house instead of her normal staff. So she had the normal staff in the studio.
She probably outsourced her producers from India.
Yeah, she outsourced everyone from
Hello,
India.
this is Kaif Patel.
This is Jamesh,
the new producer of This Is Ellen show.
Meanwhile, like the rest of them are trying to get their unemployment and they can't get it. Like oh fuck, I refreshed and I can't get my unemployment. Now they're gonna kick me out of my studio apartment.
She got too big for her britches.
Too big for her britches. You ever see her mansions? The episode of her when she's on Comedians in Cars with Seinfeld. Oh my god, mansions! No, not mansion. Mansions. She worth like $400 million.
We're trying to buy a house for like, $500K, and we're like struggling. This girl has mansions.
She's got when Seinfeld drove up to her estate in Beverly Hills, and it was like, my fucking god! And it's like, what is this? 2 people live here? Like, what do you mean? This is like a giant wall.
Wife,
Portia de Rossi.
I love the Arrested Development.
As I'm saying, I know her from Arrested Development. I liked her on
I don't know her for anything else.
Just Arrested Development, really.
Literally, I don't think.
Yeah, and she kind of retired after that. She said, I'm going to marry this rich Ellen and retire.
You think that was her, like, oh, this
MO?
is my nest egg?
She certainly didn't work much after that.
But do you think she was always a lesbian, or she kind of was like, maybe I'm like bisexual and I'm gonna get
she's bisexual for money.
That's what I'm implicating.
I don't know. Who cares? But I know, right? But they
So,
seem happily ever
It
after
doesn't even say
married
she's
with
an
their
actress. It says
money. No, she's just Ellen
American
DeGeneres.
Australian businesswoman.
Did pretty much, right? And her business was marrying Ellen. That was her main source of
Former
business.
model and actress.
Yeah, Arrested Development is what I know her as. She was one of the Blutes, right?
The Lindsay Bluth.
Oh, okay.
And then she was on some show called Scandal for 3 years.
Yeah,
Now she's
never
the
watched
current
it.
founder and CEO of the art company General Public.
Oh, of course, the CEO of some non-profit organization that does nothing but hemorrhage money.
Yeah,
And for tax
ooh.
purposes.
Ooh, General Public.
Yeah, General Public, General Electric.
Who are you helping, you philanthropist?
It's a write-off for Ellen. Ellen needs deductions.
It's pretty strange that she had a husband. Married in 1996, divorced in 1999.
And he is destitute.
Whoever Mel Metcalf is.
Well, Mr. Metcalf has met his match with Ellen. Ellen and her bank account. I hope Ellen goes away.
I'm just saying.
Long story short, I hope Ellen.
Yeah,
Sean's trying to
good.
uncover a plot here of Portia de Rossi marrying Ellen just for the money. But as far as I'm concerned, I want Ellen to go away. I've always thought that she was a
Look at
phony.
this tweet.
I always thought she was a phony.
2017,
She's phony.
de Rossi claims Steven Seagal exposed himself to her while she was auditioning for one of his films.
By exposed, do you mean reveal his genitals?
Well, Seagal probably has a big package. Like he's like, yo, listen.
Get a load of this. And
He
he
like
does
broke-
a
he
karate
broke-
move.
He like karate chopped the board with his fucking
He
unit.
snapped somebody's neck and then showed.
No, it was like one of those like chopping
Oh yeah,
wood.
the
Look
karate
at
boards.
this.
Yeah.
And then one just
Oh,
goes-
he chopped the board with his genitals.
Yes,
I see.
he did.
I see where you're getting with that. Yeah.
But this is
Oh
the
my
thing,
God.
right?
Oh,
it says
dear.
allegedly. So meaning it was dropped and there's no evidence of it.
It was dropped. It was settled out of court.
Maybe Ellen was like, I don't like him. He was rude to me once.
Yeah, he was rude to her once.
Say he saw you his dick.
He whipped out his package onto a snapping martial arts wooden board.
But that's an awkward duo, Steven Seagal and Portia de Rossi.
What were what were they in the same room for? Oh, Portia de Rossi. That's really more my my guy.
Well, it's a putty.
That's putty, yeah. But they did the same
All
thing.
signs point to yes.
All sides point to the 8-ball. I squint in my eyes here. I'll snap your neck. Everybody's
Devils!
yeah. The Devils.
So I was at a Devils game when he was like, it was a David Putty.
It was David
bobblehead.
Putty night. It was David Putty
So they
night.
gave out a bobblehead of him,
Right,
and he
right.
did like the chant.
Don't mess with the Devils,
But
man.
he took off his shirt, had the like painted D on his
no way,
chest,
did he really?
and he had to be late 50s. 60
Patrick Warburton. Yeah, let's see how old he is now. He's been around for.
say he's
45
60 years old.
He is 55. He must have been young during Seinfeld then. He's younger than us. Shit, make me feel old, man. Let me
So
see.
yeah, Seinfeld's last season was what, 99, 98?
Yeah, like 98 at the latest. So that's 22 years ago minus 22. Oh my God, he was at 33 at the latest.
He was our age.
He's
when
younger
he
than
appeared.
us. He was definitely younger than us.
He
'cause
did 8-ball. He was like 32
he
years
was
old.
probably like 29, 30. Don't mess with the 8-ball. All signs point to yes.
My favorite
He was
putty,
good.
my favorite putty episode, I think, is when he
You
was
stole my Jesus fish.
when he was used car salesman.
Oh.
When he worked at the car
Keys.
dealership.
How you gonna start it? Rust proofing? We don't even know what that is.
Oh, we got lunch at Arby's.
Yeah, feels like an Arby's night. We had donuts before. That was somebody else.
Then he goes, rust proofing.
Rust proofing, keys. Keys? How you gonna start it? Floor mats. Yeah. He went from grease
like,
monkey. Oh, no more grease monkey. I don't care for that term. Yeah, because he was grease monkey first.
Putty was a great character.
Great character.
He made Elaine look less annoying. You know, he humanized her a little bit.
He definitely showed her like controlling, nagging sides too, but because she kind of bitched him.
I don't think. Well, she definitely bitched him. That's for sure.
Was he ever a stand-up comedian?
No, I think he just had that. He was a huge voice actor.
Yeah, of course. He still does voice acting.
He's gigantic voice.
He was the Tick. He's
He did some
he's
crappy
Joe
sitcom
on Family Guy.
He did some crappy sitcom with.
He's done a lot. He's done so much stuff. Joe on Family Guy, I think, was one of his longer term roles. He was the Tick. What else was he?
The Tick's a weird franchise. I remember.
It's great though. It was great.
I remember liking the cartoon.
That's what I'm saying. He was the voice on the
was like,
cartoon. He was the voice on that cartoon.
But
he
the
does
cartoon
a lot
was
of
a cult thing. It had maybe 2 seasons at the most.
Yeah, probably. He does a lot of voice work, and he does. He's like
He has a very like
Disney. He was the guy. He's the character in the thing Soarin'. If you ever did the ride Soarin', he's like
I have
the one.
not.
Oh, that's a great ride. You got to get there.
I haven't been to Disney since probably 1998.
Oh, I feel bad.
I was planning the trip this summer. I put it on my COVID list.
Yeah.
canceled.
I was in Disneyland last October before, but I didn't go to Disneyland in California, but I didn't go to the other park, DCA, Disney California Adventure, and that's where the Soarin' ride is. That ride's great. I love that ride. And it's you're flying or you're soaring over. Now it's soaring over the world. It used to be soaring over California, and they shoot the scents at you.
I think it was Soarin'. He was a magic planeswalker. It was Soarin'. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
He's a vampire guy.
Oh, well, that's
Sourin.
Is that Magic the Gathering?
Correct. And there's also Soarin'. There's a vape called Soarin'. So there's all these Soarins, and I'm like,
they're coming to mind.
The other things are coming.
Oh, he was the voice of Buzz Lightyear on the TV show.
Nah,
Buzz Lightyear Stark.
Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear.
Tim Allen's the only Buzz Lightyear that I'll allow.
I don't.
Anybody else?
Some knockoff Buzz Lightyear. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
It's Tim the Toolman Taylor, right?
Yeah. Tim the Cocaine Man Taylor.
I love his mugshot. He's in Detroit.
It's great.
Detroit,
heavy
1980,
mustache, 1980.
And a giant stash.
Thick ass
distributing like kilos of cocaine.
How did he go from he 1 in a trillion to go from that to being like a Disney star, right? How's this a possibility?
Listen, Tim Allen is. I'm a big fan of Tim Allen because he's a big Detroit guy, and I love.
Sean's a big fan of Detroit. Sean.
But Tool Time was a great show growing up. It was funny. It was entertaining.
Very good.
But you know what? It wouldn't fly in this fucking modern era of 2020.
No. Didn't he have?
He was very machismo, and he would like.
Everything was.
He would make fun of women in some of his sketches in the show, and like.
Yes, or even in his stand-up too.
Well, stand-up's brutal, heavy time.
But didn't he recently have a TV show that was canceled?
It was canceled and resurrected 5 times.
Yeah. Almost like what's her name, Roseanne, kind of.
Well, Roseanne got
cancel them. I don't get the canceling because it's like from just a money perspective. I guess they don't want the bad PR of these companies, but it's like, well, you'd assume the people that are watching this.
It was called Last Man Standing.
It's the ones looking to cancel it are not the ones really watching it. So what do the companies care? They just don't because they're supposed to be like Disney's supposed to be like, oh, they don't want any kind of controversy, so they have to cancel it.
See,
they just don't. They want to avoid the drama, but it's like be better off just. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not a corporate clone at Disney, but
so
I just
not
feel
only
like,
is it not canceled,
because now there's talks about doing now with the new CEO of Disney. He's like, fuck all this. We're doing anti-woke because he's like because the woke isn't profitable.
The woke poisoned Star Wars. It toxified it.
I mean, it maybe toxified Lucasfilm because it was there was too much like it. Lucasfilm was never when Disney with George was there. Like was never political per se. Like George did sprinkle politics into the prequels in the 2000s, but it was never on the nose, and it was very very subtle. Like
it was, you had to go to magnifying glass to really see it.
It wasn't on the forefront.
It wasn't like the last movie
not
when
to
you have.
Not to say that. Listen, Rise of Skywalker wasn't on the nose.
The LGBT is nothing wrong with it, but you're imposing a forced kiss scene.
Oh, but that's magnifying glass because that's not. You wouldn't even notice that had there would not been an article.
This is my argument, right? There was no straight kiss scenes in other movies.
You talking about Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Well, what's her name kissed?
Their main characters.
Raylo?
They're focal points in the movie.
Yeah.
You don't see background aliens making out Mos Eisley.
No, you don't. But
it felt shoot in to like feed a demographic.
But I mean, because that's the thing, they want to be progressive, and it's like we're with the times. But I mean, something like that is so background, we wouldn't have fucking noticed it had there not been an article about it. So I don't really give a shit about that. And also, like with Revenge of the Sith, going back to 2005, the only thing political was if you're not with me, you're my enemy. And there was articles saying that like that was kind of what George Bush said. He was like, if you are not with us, you're with the terrorists. And that was the only political really allusion to the prequels.
You think George Bush even watched Star Wars?
No, of course not.
He's like, I'm watching the baseball.
Well, they were trying to say that George Lucas put that in because George Bush said it, and it was like if that was the only political thing, it was first of all, it's not word for word, it was not on the nose, and it was very subtle. It was nothing. I mean, the new movies didn't like. There's woke stuff in it, but
it's way woke.
I mean, obviously the most woke one is the Last Jedi. Right? I mean, I wouldn't call the fan.
Last Jedi.
I wouldn't call Force Awakens really woke, other than Rey, right, being the main character. You call
Last
it woke.
Jedi has surpassed itself. I always thought Attack of the Clones, Episode 2,
was the worst.
No,
I'm still going with Attack of the Clones being
Last Jedi is on the same level of horrific crap.
Well, no, I think The Last Jedi is a better, more well-made movie. I think just the directions
Well, it's
that
more
it went,
well
we
made
don't-
because it came out 20 years later.
Well, no, yeah, but I think just the composition and it looks better.
It had unnecessary characters, plot points that went nowhere.
Well, I think it's more or less that, we don't like where the story went, especially with Luke. I think that's everybody's main issue with The Last Jedi.
It's just Luke was such.
Because you could talk about Rose Tico all day and night, and could talk about the casino scene, but really the thing that angered everybody was what they did with Luke.
My favorite Rose Tico.
Because if you like what they did with Luke, you wouldn't have cared as much about the waste of 25 minutes of the casino scene, or about Rose Tico kind of being a bit shoehorned. They could have did more with that character, better things with that character.
My favorite Rose Tico response of how shitty of a character she was: go to any Target's Funko Pop section. It's
Get
like
stacks of Rose.
It was pictures after Christmas.
Well, let's face it.
Everything's wiped. There's 75 Rose Tico Pop.
I think, that's true. I think a lot of it that there is a 50% of that with that people in general, or like whatever, even kids in general, don't want to buy the new stuff. I think it also has to do with adults being the majority of the ones that buy these collectibles at this point are less interested in buying sequel trilogy shit than they are with original trilogy stuff, or even possibly prequel trilogy stuff at this point, because the prequel trilogy has been mostly forgiven because now the ones that grew up with it are in their mid-30s and they've pretty much forgiven the prequels.
You know what?
So the prequels don't get nearly as much flack now than they did with 7 years ago because of the because of the sequel trilogy. But that being said, also add in the fact that young children don't play with action figures as much as they used to.
No, because there's no Toys R Us outlet.
I think that's
Think about your son. Do you regret? Don't you disappointed Toys R Us doesn't exist?
We were talking about that yesterday because we passed by a defunct Toys R Us. It was just the blue, and the sign was taken down. I was like, oh, look, that was a Toys R Us.
Wouldn't you love to like get some figurines for yourself, buy your son something he wants?
Yeah, we go into Target, and there's the one little aisle, and that's it,
But the Target aisle
it's one little aisle. But like also we talked about like imagine like the idea of having a whole entire warehouse big box store full of toys in 2020. It's like it doesn't seem like it could exist, and it doesn't anymore, because it was like how could they survive? Like a whole store of things you don't need. You know what I mean? At least Target sells groceries.
But I had fond memories
of course I do.
Graduating kindergarten and going to Toys R Us and picking out a toy I want.
I'm in complete agreement, but it's just a different world. It's just a different world.
Like
you can't sustain it.
Our children, they're gonna lose that allure of getting the excitement of going to the toys.
I'm in agreement.
Target section, by the way, is always wiped. It's
wiped and it's 2 aisles.
Two aisles, and their stocking is fucking horrendous.
There's one like bent, like
it's like some shitty,
one
like
bent up
third-rate character.
Yeah,
like,
there's like
good luck getting a Darth Vader figure.
One bent Snoke, like a dusty Snoke.
And this is the problem, right? You have people our age that are not having families or not doing anything, like these fat collectors.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Well, especially with COVID, as collectibles have gone up because people aren't spending their money elsewhere. So they're looking to buy collectibles. I'm sure people watching the show are purchasing collectibles, right? Because
we purchased collectibles.
Fuck yeah, I spent like $3,000 this summer buying shit.
So I just splurged a little bit. I bought. So the company's called One Up, and they
sponsored by. No, we have no fucking sponsors. We're poor.
Like, it's a lower in scale. It's not the same size as the regular arcade cabinets. It's about 80% the size.
Yeah, I know. Well, it stands on. Now we're talking about they remake the old
arcade
cabinets. So it stands on a thing that makes it like
they have a stand on it.
I know.
It has like the designs and everything.
No, I know. It's nice.
So it's about 8% scale.
I know. It's the full size of an arcade cabinet. I know.
And those things you probably can't fit in your house anyway. They're gigantic.
No, the full size cabinet. That's something to get in your house.
But,
yeah. What a job that would be.
I saw it on sale. Heavy. It was about 30% off.
That's not bad because the one I seen in Walmart was like $300. What'd you pay? Sean bought one, by the way.
No, so retail's going around $450.
What'd you pay?
I paid $340.
Okay, yeah, that's probably what I seen it for. Yeah, that's good. I mean, like, because they are big and heavy pieces.
They're on sale because Walmart's trying to get rid of the inventory and then be gone with it.
Turn it over, yeah. Well, I mean, but that's always the case.
But there's new ones coming. Like, there came X-Men Street Fighter's coming out in October. Like,
you got Turtles in Time, right?
I got the Ninja Turtles, so the classic Turtles.
Oh, so you didn't get Turtles in Time. You got
Turtles
Turtles
Time's included in the games.
Oh, but the cabinet's regular Turtles.
But I prefer the regular Turtles because that's the cat I remember as a little kid.
I remember Turtles, and I remember them both. Yeah. But
Turtles
Time
that cabinet's rare and more expensive because that came out at the end.
What did I see? I put it in our little
the end days of arcades. Turtles in Time. the dying end of arcades is probably around 97, 90, 98 is when the arcades kind of became extinct. They had a resurgence in the early 90s, and that's when I got into it. Street Fighter and it's in Mortal Kombat is what resurged the arcades in the early 90s. And this is in this documentary on Netflix about video games. It's fantastic. Kind of goes through so you started the origins of Pong and Pac-Man, all these things, and it just kind of snowballs into all these games you're familiar with. Sonic, Street Fighter. And I'm about halfway through it. I love it. Right. Looking at the arcade, looking at the history of video games, applies the history of your kind of adolescence.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we skipped the 70s and 80s part, but that's 3 episodes. The other 7 episodes in the series
Is there that many of the new series?
I think it's 10 episodes. I could be mistaken.
Okay. And it's half an hour an episode?
It's about 40 minutes an episode.
Ooh, that's long. I'll definitely...
It's great.
That's right up my alley. That's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It just came out like 2 weeks ago.
What's it called? The video game documentary?
I'll look up the name. I want to call I
gotta
High Score or something like that.
Oh, cool. Because I did the games that made us, the movies that made us. I've watched all those shits, so... I'm more likely to watch documentaries.
Cast listener Stephen Kump recommended it to me, and...
Friend of the show.
Bring
him on. Bring him on
and Jersey
bring Max
cat,
on.
so if we...
Where is he?
He lives in Jersey. So
when did he move to Jersey? This is not cast material.
Yeah,
no one gives a shit. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, exactly.
When did our friend move to Jersey? Just tune in next time when we get the answer.
It's not for the fans to listen to.
No one gives a shit about it.
No one gives a fuck, right?
Next, downvote, unsubscribed.
Okay, video games documentary on Netflix. The name is... That's not it. The fuck is the name? High Score.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll watch the whole thing tonight. I'll binge the whole thing.
I'm not a binger. I only watch... I can watch 2-3 hours.
I could binge. I just got to get myself in the zone and then just do it. Yeah.
Is your son taking interest in playing any video games yet, or he's a little too young still?
At 14 months, no. He'll just mash the controller. He can mash the controller. He knows that controllers and remotes go to the TV. That's a good sign. Anyway, we got the big Bill and Ted's Face the Music. Have you seen it, Sean?
I'm planning on seeing it weekend coming up this week, Labor Day weekend.
We probably should have seen it, but then again, we would have had to do spoilers, so maybe we'll wait till everyone watches it.
Your father ordered it. We could put it on right now.
Yeah, I accidentally ordered it. I get the emails like Verizon $24.99.
Your dad... I'd be surprised if your father was an original fan of Bill and Ted. He doesn't look like a Bill and Ted fan.
No, I would assume that he was probably still too old. Like the first one came out, 89 or 88?
88, the year we were born.
There you go.
Then sequel's 91.
Mm-hmm.
And the trilogy finished...
just now, 2020. They look good.
29 years later.
Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves both look good. So, see, I kind of like what that kind of humor was. I would say a little bit before us. Like I remember, I kind of liken that to like Encino Man and movies like that. They're kind of
Bill and Ted's better than Encino Man. The original Bill and Ted, the first
classic. One. Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, like
second one, Bogus Journey, Adventure, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, I mean, they did different things. No, the first one's better. Yeah, and George Carlin's great.
Well, you have like Napoleon at the water park, Genghis Khan,
those are iconic.
Shit.
That was just on TV constantly on Saturday afternoons.
Channel 11,
Channel 11 had
afternoon movies.
Excellent. That was constantly on. Like I would watch
Wild Stallions.
Yeah. That was classic stuff in the 90s. I was more like privy to watch like if Spaceballs was on.
Well, that's the thing. But none of us watched in theaters. Came out when we were born.
But I didn't watch it in theaters.
5 years later, it's cable. It's public TV fodder.
Yeah.
You're a 6-year-old
network television.
You're a 6-year-old bored at home, clicking channels.
Excellent.
You're like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure to Keanu Reeves.
Positive. Yeah. Right before
that put Keanu Reeves on the map.
Oh, that's what I was telling my wife. Yeah. Put him on the map before Matrix, or what did he do before? He did some. Oh, there was. I knew him from Speed too. I knew him Speed.
He's done a bunch of shit.
He done Point Break, but I would have. I know Speed. I saw in theaters. What was that? 94.
You saw that in theaters. Yeah. That's not a movie. Take a 5-year-old to. I'd say.
Oh no.
It's funny. I'm looking up Keanu Reeves. I wrote Keanu Wick.
Yeah, I would have been 6. Yeah, that's not bad.
I don't think that's a kid movie. Well, I saw this movie.
It's like PG-13.
I saw this movie, Celtic Pride. So I'm confused, right? I'm looking up Keanu Reeves. Everyone says he's born in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But then I'm looking at this and it says Canadian actor. He grew up in Toronto. No, he's born in This Hawaii shit's bogus.
I think some family from of his.
So I'm looking at him. He's born in Lebanon, but he grew up in Toronto.
Okay, he is. Yeah, I know he's originally like Canadian, quote unquote, but he's got some ties to Hawaii.
It says he's a Canadian actor. He's 1964, man. He looks great.
His father's from Hawaii. Reeves last met his father on Kauai in age 13. When he was 13. That's what
Man, for being 50,
he looks great.
5 years old, he looks fantastic.
They both look good though. Alex Winter and him both look good. They both like for their mid-50s, because Alex Winter's got to be in his 50s too, right? And he looks good too.
Came out some movie Youngblood I don't know about.
Mm-hmm. Alex, they're the same age, 50. They both look good.
Oh, so Bill and Ted's
Alex
89.
Winter's a little bloated. Yeah, okay, 89. And then the next one was what, 91? Speed was 94.
Devil's Advocate was a great movie.
97. Yeah.
Then The Matrix was his big.
Well, then he became a blockbuster star.
Matrix when he
became blockbuster
mainstream.
Star. Yeah.
Then he won off the grid for a bit.
Whoa! Then I did. No, he did all the other Matrixes and I'm gonna do Constantine. I'm gonna defeat you, demons. Whatever year that was.
Constantine was pretty whack.
I didn't see it, but I remember 05. Yeah, I remember like that year I was checked out. If it wasn't like Revenge of the Sith and the Batman Begins, I had no interest in whatever the fuck it was.
05 is like your pinnacle of high school where you're like, you're so busy socializing that you don't have time for anything.
Yeah, the only movies I even gave a fuck about, like I said, were Revenge of the Sith. I was like 3 weeks away. It was a really big deal.
I remember seeing
Batman Begins like secondarily.
I didn't see Batman Begins in theaters.
The funny thing is that I didn't either. It was just like I saw it when it came out after. But
I love comics as a kid. You know who resurrected my interest in comics was our departed friend, Fat Mike.
Fat Mike, friend of the cast.
You know what's funny? I thought about him today. I drove by that derelict hotel by.
Oh God, he was living at a derelict hotel. Who?
Yeah.
Was it the West Shore Inn?
It's a steakhouse, but.
Yeah.
Like the Motor Inn.
The Motor Inn, the Victory Motor Inn.
By where the Target and ShopRite is.
Yeah, in the South Shore. Yeah.
So I drove by it today, and I'm like, man, remember Mikey lived there? This is one of his lower points in his life. But speaking about the good things about him, was I loved comics growing up as a kid. Loved them.
Sure.
And then I kind of grew comics, got tired of it. And then in my mid-20s, Fat Mike was so into it.
He was really into him, graphic novels, things like that.
And he kind of one day he's like, we're talking. 'Cause I had the knowledge about it, and we're talking. He goes, "Yo, Shawnee boy, we gotta go to the store." So one day I go to the comic book store with
Jones,
him,
who doesn't exist either anymore.
He we had such a good time, and it was just going down memory lane. He's like, read this, read that, and he got me back into it. And it was nostalgic, and I enjoyed it. And my friend Max on the front of the cast, I put him onto comics.
Oh.
So Mikey's influence kind of spread.
He actually even helped kind of influence where this podcast went, because back in 2010, he was like, I would like to make one of those YouTube channels. This was before everybody had a YouTube channel. And he wanted to kind of talk nerdy shit and do play video games. And I was just like, anybody gonna watch you play video games? But I was like, yeah.
It was before Twitch. Now Twitch
is long before people actually watched people play video games and made money on it. He was really it was ahead of his time with that kind of logic.
So are you calling Fat Mike a pioneer?
He was kind of a pioneer, except that he just wanted to do these things, but at least he had the idea to. But then when we started talking about doing a podcast in 2014 and 2015, which is, this podcast has been going on for 5 years now. Oh boy, we've really risen.
Ranking in the episodes.
We really ranked in with 45 episoers over 5 years.
Like burning.
Yeah. The acid of the studio is.
Can I get a blanket?
Yeah. Shut up down there. Broomer fast. Do what you need to do with her and Broomer Fast.
Tell the listeners here where the Broomer Fast came from.
That's from...
This is a good listen. I had a good laugh from this.
That's the original Spider-Man movie. William Dafoe, Green Goblin, says it to what's his name, but
James Franco.
James Franco. But what were we likening it to?
Well,
we were just saying it for anything.
Well, essentially, what you link it to is you explain the story. They're eating Thanksgiving dinner. And
in the movie,
dispose of this bitch.
Yeah, he's talking about Mary Jane to James Franco in the hallway, but everybody could hear him, and he's like, "Do what you need to do with her, then broom her fast." And then they're all like, "Oh,"
Aunt
May, oh, she's choking on her Thanksgiving turkey.
Dear,
oh dear,
but you know
it's
what?
gone. He burned.
You know what's funny about Aunt May to me, right?
Yeah.
Her first rendition of Aunt May looks like the oh dear one from Simon. It looks like Jerry's grandma.
Yeah, like the same 100-year-old age.
Now she's Marissa's Tomei. When did Aunt May become a hot MILF? When before she was a grainy old fucking bag.
If you remember the comic book and the cartoon, she was the white old bag. But I guess they were like, we need to do something fresh. Like, what do we do? We'll do Marissa Tomei.
Wait, let's. She should have tits. All right.
All right. Well, but they got it on a whiteboard. Like,
tits. Check. Let's make it hot. All right.
Babe, check. Yeah, we're gonna switch it up this time.
Yeah, let's introduce them.
Yeah.
Babe.
As you can see how creative Hollywood is. This is like the extent of their creativity when it comes to like the new Spider-Man.
You look at any comic books of Aunt May. She's a wrinkly old bag.
She's the lady that played her was just fine as Aunt May.
You do too much.
Oh dear, I need to go to the chemical bank.
I need my tea.
Yeah, I need my tea.
Peter, do you have any chamomile?
Poor Uncle Owen. What was his name? Uncle Owen and Aunt Prue.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Tom. Uncle Ben. Yeah.
It'd be funny if Uncle Ben's rice was Peter Parker's dead uncle.
Yeah. People have made that joke before.
But there's a famous charred remains action figure meme.
Yeah, that's not a real thing, but yeah, of the charred remains of like as action figures, Uncle Ben and Aunt Beru.
It's like they're burnt
skeletons.
Bones.
Yeah. That they should have made that.
When I first saw that,
that goes way back.
This is about 6-year-old meme, maybe 7.
I saw that so long ago. I got tagged in that. Like
I think I fucking sent it to you.
I think there's a really old one that I got tagged in. Like it might gotta be 10 years, man. I'm telling you.
But
that's a long standing.
That was a great Lar.
Yeah.
That I had a
Uncle
good.
and Aunt Beru like figures. They're just like the charred remains of them from the movie.
You have Aunt Beru in your new cantina.
Oh, you saw that? It's funny because anybody I show that to, they recognize that. I've got my little cantina out, my Star Wars cantina, and I was like, it's all aliens. I need some like human beings in there. I threw an Aunt Beru figure in there. She had a long day at the moisture farm. She had to farm some of her own moisture.
That blue milk is not cheap.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. I need another blue milk. I think you've had enough, Aunt Beru. I'll tell you when I've had enough.
Yeah, imagine her just being drunk at
the
bar.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
is that a fucking droid in here?
Yeah.
Get him out.
Yeah, I said no droids in here. And then like Luke and Uncle Ben have to drag her out. Yeah. Like, you've had enough.
I'll tell you.
I'll tell you when I've had enough, you little brat.
Go shoot some womp rats.
Yeah, go shoot your womp rats in your T-16, you little piece of turd. You little banta poo doo.
Yeah, your father's a murderer. Hush.
Shut up.
Uncle Ben's like, we're gonna get killed. Let's go.
Let's get out of here. I go. The aliens.
Obi-Wan sneaks in and erase everyone's mind.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see any of that.
Aunt Beru is not a lush.
The secret shame of Aunt Beru. Should that be the name of this episode?
Secret shame of Aunt Beru. I mean, we're pursuing a very underdeveloped characters.
That
alcoholism.
Well, you figure that's got to be something in the new Obi-Wan. In the new Obi-Wan show that they're gonna do, that's got to be something they go.
You think Beru is like trying to bang him though?
Hey, Ben's not giving me.
You notice these Jedis, they
Ben Lars ain't doing it for me anymore.
These Jedis like to have children and be deadbeat dads.
I know.
It's part of their MO.
It's part of their MO. I'm really not supposed to have children.
Oh, you're pregnant? I have to leave.
Gotta be out for the dark side.
Sorry, I'm busy.
Gotta leave for the dark side.
I gotta polish my saber.
Yeah. Oh, let me polish it for you, Obi-Wan.
You're too old now.
Oh yeah, what am I calling him? Ben. Yeah, like there's a lot of Bens and Owens. Owen doesn't do it for me no more. Yeah, that's good stuff. But yeah,
it's good to go on a little Aunt Beru alcoholism.
Aunt Beru alcoholism tangent. She goes in the cantina.
And that cantina just wants credits, man.
Do you think that she's hitting on the bartender like, you're a saucy one? He's like, we don't finish your drink and get out. You'll have to wait outside.
I gotta admit, Tatooine's bad for your skin, man.
There's a lot of
if I was the Star Wars,
all of the human if you pause on the cantina, all of the human characters look disgusting. They look.
It looks like an actual Western.
It does.
They look like in the 1800s.
The real reason for that is that remember all that was shot in England, so the company that they used to cast was called the Ugly Company. It was the Ugly Casting, and it still exists to this day. It was all for like oddball looking people, like little people and like people that had weird looks. Then they needed weird roles, so they had like headshots of like weird looking people for like, oh, that's great, we need him for this role. So
they wanted to cast
Star Wars
bartender.
Well, they just employed that like like casting company, and they just hired like the whole batch of them. You know?
think they just wanted weathered-looking people?
Well, I think they wanted weird-looking people and weathered-looking people, so they just hired the whole batch. Like the two the girls in the cantina, like that are smoking the hookah, the Tanaka sisters. If you could Google them, not to go this deep into Star Wars lore. There's like the two women in the cantina smoking hookah. They have like the braided hair. They're in the cantina. Just look them up. You know what I'm talking about. And so anyway, I listened to a podcast with her, with one of them, the surviving one. One of them is dead. And she said that she was part of that casting company or that modeling company, and that was where they all got hired from. That was why they all they all look like freaks and stuff. But yeah, you see these two, Sean? Take a gander. Yeah. You know what I'm talking. So they're in the cantina. You don't remember them for the cantina? They're just the extras in the cantina.
You're the extra king, though.
Oh, well, I've seen these movies so many times. You don't remember that they're like...
I don't remember twins. I do not remember that at all.
Really? They're having some hookah in the background? They're like... Look, there's the
hookah,
bartender talking to them and stuff.
I know the bartender's like a mile away.
Yeah.
Man, he got a schnoz, that dude.
Well, that's the point is that they were all from that same that modeling company, and that's why they all look like all the humans from the cantina all look like freaks, you know. If you look,
twins they're not terrible looking.
No. I think maybe they were like unusual in some other way. Maybe they were really tall or something, so they were in that casting company.
I mean, their hair is ugly, but
that's not real hair. It's a wig, Sean. But and they're not really twins in real life. One of them passed away, but the other one I listened to.
You can tell one's like considerably taller than the other.
Yeah. So but I listened to a podcast with her recently, and she said that she was like, "Well, we were all from the same modeling company, and it was for like weird looking people." I don't know, like she didn't really look weird herself. I don't know what the deal was, but all the men did. Like they were all like. But
you know what though? If I'm filming a space western, which essentially what A New Hope was.
Yeah, exactly. You want like weird. You don't want
I want authenticity. I don't. You don't want. Exactly. If I have a supermodel in the cantina.
No, you want clean cut.
It doesn't bring realism to me because if she's so fucking hot, all these creeps, drunk aliens, gonna be creeping on this woman.
Hey, baby, yeah.
Hey, hot cheeks.
Yeah, like, get over here. Yeah, so it was just a casting.
Steven Seagal, when he chops in wood with his dick.
Pull out his lightsaber. Yeah, so that was the reason why all the extras, the human extras, not just the ones wearing.
That's very interesting.
Masks.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and that casting company still exists. I believe it's called the Ugly Modeling Company in the UK.
Because remember that was marketing name. Like, why do anyone want to play? I'm working for Uglies, yo. All right.
Let's see, the Ugly Modeling Agency. It's called it's called the Ugly Model Agency. Well, it's just for people. It's because when you need to cast a movie. Not everybody could be, square-jawed, like, model-looking people that are, like, they need you. Sometimes you
want
need
some realism in that.
Well, you might need an oddball or something. It's like, well, this calls for a weirdo. Like nowadays, it's like tattooed people that have face tattoos or just unusual. You need casting for unusual people for whatever reason, and that's what this model company is. It still exists. It's called the Ugly Models. Yeah, uglymodels.org, and it still exists.
Let's cap it. I have one last thing, pretty interesting to talk about.
Sure, go ahead. Bring it up.
So Ninja Turtles comics are releasing a thing called The Last Ronin.
That's right.
So what's interesting about it is Eastman and Laird.
We brought them up countless times on this podcast.
Laird has not done anything Turtles in over 20 years.
Right.
Like, not writing, gone. Got his payday.
He just took his cash.
But the Ronin was a story they were developing 30 years ago. He's like, he's involved in the project.
Mm-hmm.
And what's so good about the project, it's kind of an alternative storyline in the Turtles universe.
Yeah.
So the last Ronin means there's one turtle left and the other three were killed.
Oh.
But you don't know who the turtle is.
And
you don't know how the other turtles died.
That's a really interesting concept.
So it's like a kind of dystopian future where like everything's fucking
gritty.
So COVID-19.
Normal 2020.
Yeah. So, but in the Turtles universe, it's an alternative timeline where everything went to shit and three of the turtles were murdered. And there's one left. And if you see this picture here, I'm going to show it to you.
Bring it to me.
You can't tell who it is. He's wearing a hood. He has all the weapons.
It could be Donatello, Raphael.
So there's theories that it's going to be one of the ones you don't expect, like a Michelangelo.
It's Michelangelo. That would make the most sense, right?
You think like Leonardo Raphael, like the guys that the alphas.
Get things done, yeah.
The one that's like the prankster, sweethearted guy is the one that survives, and now he has his vicious vengeance.
That makes the most sense, right? Because there'll be a lot of character stuff going on there.
There's a shit ton of hype behind this. It's like the biggest hype thing.
Cool.
So the first
Is
issue
this just gonna be graphic novels or
So it's gonna be the graphic novel is gonna come out, but it's a 5-issue series.
5-issue comic series or
5-issue comic series.
and then they'll turn it into a graphic novel. You said.
They'll definitely make a movie out of it.
Oh, well, I mean, it seems
It's
like
gonna print fucking money.
See-
Nickelodeon owns the
Ching, ching,
rights.
ching. Do they?
Nickelodeon owns the rights.
Wow.
So they're gonna definitely make a fucking movie out of it. I guarantee you they'll make a movie.
Well,
out
it
of
sounds like a really
but
interesting concept.
it's the darkest you can get in the Turtles genre. It's
Sure,
it's a revenge
sure,
story.
sure,
Where
sure.
and it's a revenge
I guess you
story.
couldn't get more.
3 of the 4 turtles are murdered and
Right,
killed.
right.
And you have one left.
I guess this is pretty much as dark as you can do it. Yeah.
And that's why the other guy, he's like in his 80s, retired, but he's like, I'm involved in this
Are
project.
they that old? I feel like they're fairly young.
No,
because-
one's way older than the other.
Oh, okay.
Laird is the old one.
Let me see.
Eastman's the young one. It's Peter Laird and I forgot the guy's.
And Roger Eastman.
Eastman and Laird are the
Laird is 66. So, and then Kevin Eastman is how old? Let's see.
Eastman's younger.
We're look at the top question. Were Laird and Eastman a couple? Were they? They were not.
They were not homosexuals, I believe, but
Kevin Eastman's much younger.
No,
well,
he-
actually, no, 58, but he looks a lot younger. So 66 and 58. But they were
Laird
like
just
young
looks
when
like
they did.
shit. Eastman looks better.
He's very white-haired old man. Or
But
bald,
Eastman,
you know.
like, I guess I'm friends with him on Facebook, his group or what have you. And he's like very active in conventions. Like Laird's
Sure.
just like a hermit, like he's removed.
Yeah.
But with this
collecting his $30 million.
yeah, with this project, he's like, I co-wrote this project. I'm involved.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it's a bigger.
Well, that
hype.
lends a lot of authenticity to it.
That's why
and-
there's bigger hype to it because
Lot of
the
hype.
original creators haven't done anything together in 20 years,
Right.
and they're involved in the
Right
project.
now, yeah. If you're getting Laird in on it, so and this is kind of the legacy. So I'm sure they're going to
This
want
is
to do
gonna be
something.
Laird's last turtle run.
Less hurrah for sure. And what makes sense because the original run was so gritty. Like that's kind of how it began. Was this gritty?
Oh, the black and white.
There's a black and
Well,
white
It was,
series.
it was like black and white and red. It had a red.
Yeah, a little reddish tint.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't colorized.
But no,
like,
this is everyone's very hyped.
That's
it's very
very
dark.
interesting,
It's
yeah.
not. It's not geared towards children at all. They said it's hyper violent.
the reality of it is that like these kind of properties nowadays, like the who are the ones consuming it anyway? It's
30
the
plus
fucking
old
man
men.
children. So it's
Like
it's the people watching us right now.
the thing that your
All 5
your
of
son's
them.
gonna watch is gonna
Yeah.
be way different than shit we watch.
Yeah.
And look at the stuff our fathers watch. You think I watch Rocky and Bullwinkle? I'm like,
No,
this
I know my
sucks.
dad still likes to watch the Three Stooges.
And you try to
like,
show it to me, and
Mannix.
I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah,
And we're gonna try to show.
I wonder if that'll happen with like the original Star Wars. Like this is
Dad, this is boring.
This is boring.
He's
Like
playing
Art's-
Fortnite on his
yeah,
phone.
exactly. Like art. Like I'm like, no, it's sick, and like just R2 slowly walking through the desert. Like, oh no.
I
Like,
feel it's inevitable. Like we thought our dad's stuff was lame, and our children think our stuff is lame.
You think they'll think Star Wars is lame? I think
Well,
that
there's rehashes and animated
sure, there's
variants.
that kind of stuff to reel them in, Clone Wars or whatever, But yeah, no. So we do fear the day that even the man children shit that we like will be considered quaint and lame.
Lame. Are we gonna be old lame men one day?
We already are. Oh, we've aged so much since the first episode of this podcast.
It's been a long journey, my friend.
Over 5 years of hell, and it's literally
Imagine
it's
5
literally
years from now.
Oh my God, the 10-year anniversary when we get to 50 episodes.
So what episode are we on?
This is 45, right?
Okay.
Let's take a gander. I think we're
So
at
the average
less than 10 episodes a year. That's
about 8 episodes a year.
that's high quality content right there. It's like Game of Thrones. 5. This is season 5.
Joe Rogan would laugh at us.
I know he's on to episode 35,000
With his millions.
with all of his millions.
Ellen DeGeneres would fire us because her
Ellen
coffee was
DeGeneres.
cold.
Yeah, she would.
And throw it in our face.
She would throw the. It's cold to her, but it would be 180 degrees.
Oh,
And
nice!
burn our eyes.
Don't
like-
ever look at me again,
well,
fucking
I'd
peasant.
come in the next day with 2 patches over your eyes, like it almost like
Send him to the mailroom.
yeah, send him to the mailroom. Do you remember the movie The Mummy and
Brendan Fraser movie?
yeah, the Brendan Fraser Mummy?
That's the best one.
And then
there
like
is.
one,
the Tom Cruise one was garbage.
one of the guys. Well, of course. Well, we're not even gonna go there about how garbage that trash was. But the Brendan Fraser ones were fun, kind of almost a throwback to like Indiana Jones movies and shit.
They
And
were.
and they were very
I enjoyed
pulpy,
them.
and there's a lot of comic relief in that movie to keep you enjoying it. But the first one of the guys that opens up the tomb, he's like all fucked up because he opened the tomb. So he's like, he lost his tongue and his eyes, and he's like, oh, like that. Like that's gonna be Ellen DeGeneres's. Ellen DeGeneres is pretty much the mummy, and then all of her staff is just like the guy that lost his eyes and tongue because.
You think she's like Mumra from like Thundercats, or she gets resurrected from like the blood of her interns?
Well, exactly. Yeah,
I am Ellen Ra.
Well, yeah, she needs to anybody who's resurrected her. She needs to suck their life force.
She sucks their life force and stays young.
Keeps her alive. Yeah.
And then all her interns are dying until depressed.
Until she's in her full form, and then she takes over Hollywood. So this is
Ellen Ra.
Yeah, Ellen Ra. So this is
at least
good
for
stuff.
fighting against her mummy ass.
Yeah, cancel her. I won't stop until her tweets are destroyed.
Well, it's a good catch up.
Good quality catch up. When we come back, hopefully we can come back. We'll come back with we'll bring back Chris.
We'll
hopefully
have
the next
a
time.
great, kind of almost our third castmate, essentially.
Yeah, he's gonna be he's our recurring
member,
recurring guest.
He's gonna be the most recurring guest next episode.
Is he? Yeah. We've had? Yeah, I would assume he's recurring.
We've had sprinkles all over the years.
Sure, we've had a lot of. We got to
remaster the Fat Mike episodes for like an anniversary.
Oh, we'll have a remastered THX like special edition of our episode 8 with
our departed friend.
Yeah, Fat Mike.
There's the lost footage of. There's another episode where it was just like jarbled.
No, I believe that is episode 8. That was just jarble.
So
yeah,
he was in 2 episodes.
Yeah, he was like in episode 4, and then there was the return of Matt Fat Mike was episode 8, which was jarbled.
Yeah, that needs to be He had a prison story of like fighting someone in the shower.
And
that's
like,
gold.
Stabbed him.
That's golden content.
And it's like, but it's all like our equipment was. We got much more money now. Believe me,
we're rising up there.
Yeah, rising up.
We got live shows. We got affordable equipment. We're not looking at some custy mic.
Yeah. We're quality content. So you guys keep watching. So we'll be back sooner.
We're going to do an Oktoberfest episode.
Yeah, hopefully we get even sooner that we can talk. We'll actually talk about the relevance of Bill and Ted's.
I've always wanted to do this, and it's an adventure. We physically go to an operating video store.
Oh yeah, no, we gotta totally. I know we're talking about. There's plenty in Jersey. Yeah. And by plenty, I mean like 3 of them, but.
Let's do the fucking 2-hour, 3-hour drive.
Yeah, no, I'm down. You just gotta find a
and
moment.
And for COVID times, this is it. My weekends are busy. Your weekends are busy. We're gonna find.
We're gonna find a video store.
The fall. Let's promise our listeners in the fall.
In the fall, we're gonna find a video store. Go there.
A functional video store that's still open.
We're gonna have there's gonna be quality content.
And if we can fit an arcade in the same trip, we'll go. We'll hit the trifecta.
At the worst, we could do Yestercade in Red Bank.
I think we should crap it off at Yester. If we're in Jersey already, done. There's also one in Somerville.
I know. Too. Yeah, that's really the closer one too. Yeah,
Somerville's better. It's bigger.
Yeah. So that's it, everyone. The next episode we'll be coming back with. Hopefully, we'll talk about Bill and Ted's Face the Music, and if it's relevant at that point.
We'll have more relevant subject matter.
Yeah, and that's it for today. Y'all keep watching the stars.